survive as an artist, but sometimes it's different. I work with some galleries, but right now I don't work with some galleries. In Berlin there is so much so-called artists, there's a lot of concurrences. Yeah. You should make a question, and I will try to answer it. You know? Because explain my work is like a very big sentence. Maybe you ask me about something determined, something special, something that you.
Hey, I never see. I know the Keno.
So, Brice.
Yeah, my man.
Are you visiting Berlin?
Yeah,
How much time you have in this city?
I'm leaving on Wednesday.
But how much time you spend here?
10 days.
10 days? Was the first 10 days you were here?
No.
No?
No.
You know it already, you were coming from before, no?
Yes.
And you know, when you came to this place, for example, what do you think about it?
I was captivated.
For what?
The images I saw.
Try to explain. Huh?
The images I saw.
Images.
Also a feeling.
Oh, a telephone is sounding. You know, theoretically, I should be protected from the signals of the communication in this basement, but sometimes they come true.
Why do you need protection?
No, you know, it's interesting, the structure. This basement is that was an old fabric, a beer fabric made in the 20s. And before they grounded, they searched the coolest ground in Berlin with geologists and stuff like that. And they found it here, and they made the fabric. So it's kind of a bit under the normal level and protect from, I don't know, some handys doesn't work here. I put me nervous that you film all the time my face, man. So I should have the mask.
What are you hiding from?
What is that?
It's the light. I was wondering if Breeze needs the light a little bit.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, it can get bright.
This place is like also is not illuminated in this way, you know, because you kill something when you put this kind of lights and when you put this focus in the material stuff. That's why I'm using this candle light, and I keep it a bit on the shadows, because I allowed through this to another kind of atmosphere to, you know, exist. If you put the light, if you put the material focus on it, you kill it. So it's very heavy to translate it in the language of your camera and on your light. And this is something that you maybe feel when you say that you came here inside and you became captivated and stuff like that. It's something more subjective, you know. I think it's something that you cannot completely translate in the objective language of cameras and lighting and rationality and focus on material perception. So it's kind of a feeling. You have it when you came here. It's loaded, you know. For me, it's a kind of a laboratory, you know. It's like art in a way is another kind of science. It's like It's like a science with the use of imagination and intuition, and not rational science. You know, it's like you're melting with the chaos. So, and then I use this place, you know, for create this kind of like a symbol machine in a way, imaginary, you know. It's like you melt off these elements of civilization, and then you create this kind of like words, you know, this kind of images who have a meaning, but there's also a meaning who is not completely logical, it's not completely translated into a regional language. So, but you know, you should put the focus a bit on the elements, and then, you know, when I explain you about it, then you put the camera on the things, because otherwise it's like get lost.
Okay.
In myself. In a way, you know, it's a bit African inspired, you know? Because look, I don't know, I used to live in Cuba also, you know. In Cuba is you have this Santeria, who is like, it's like pieces of the Yoruba and Lukumi religions of Africa translate into the island of Cuba and the Spanish colony. This is an interesting the way they use objects to create relations with ideas or spiritual mothers, you know. And then when they work on the objects and they create this interrelation with the ideas that the objects represent as a technique to create influences on reality, you know. This is a very old way of magic in a way. You know, you create a metaphor of the world, and then you manipulate this metaphor of the world, and then you work on the world indirectly, you know. This is like, and it a bit is like an old root of art, you know, because I don't know, I use this whole elements for create metaphors, you know, that help me to understand social processes, you know, things who are going on with the world that we are living in, you know, over time. And for example, you were asking about this sculpture. You know, it's always like the processes of creating one piece is like, it's a half a rational process, a half an irrational process, half an impulse. So you learn of the thing, and then you create it at the same time. It's just like an interesting paradox. This one, for example, is its own process. It's not completely ready, but it's quite the idea for me is relatively clear. You know, it represents, you know, the Greeks when the old Greeks, when they win a battle, they make a special statue commemorating the victory, you know, called Nike. You know, so you have this modern sport mark, this Nike. They use also the old Greek word like Nike is like a statue commemorating the victory in a battle and stuff like that. For me, this sculpture represents a kind of a Nike, but a very special Nike. It's just like dedicated to this whole conspiracy poetry of our times, you know. It's like you have these whole people who have these conspiracy theories, you know, this desperate intent to understand the absurdity of our times, of the totally injustice and deprivation of our times. Me, it's like I don't give a fuck about them. They are true or they are lie. I see it as art. For me, it's a kind of poetry. So, and then this statue is a Nike of these conspiration theories. Some of them, they speak about the government of America as being controlled van een sect, van een secret brotherhood. You can see the heads of the children, you know. Everything is made of heads of children, you know, and because these so-called sects, they make like child sacrifices and have pedophile rings, and they have a whole culture of torturing and sexual deprivation, and these guys like rule the world. So this is the way you can explain that our politicians, or you know, the way the things are being run in our planet is so incredible, murderish and corrupt and psychic, unstable. It's because these bastards are like Satanists, pedophiles, worshippers of the devil. So you know, this sculpture is commemorating this. You know, it's a kind of like a narrative on images. Specialized in eating collage. Fucking vast. Tea is good. Green tea is good. Here's a place like superiority, you know, you are very in relation to the elements. You know, the roof, the snow is coming in, the stones are falling down, the pigeons are shitting all the time, fucking around, and letting the wings go down, and there's a lot of dust. So I have my paperwork somewhere else. So here's only a part of my work.